I have a very interesting video today. I'm wearing my pajamas. I got my cup of coffee over here, and I think I'm ready for it, you know. In my pajamas, it's a lazy day. It's raining outside once again. Man, summers, it's crazy, and it's July 1st, so there's a lot of stuff that I want to do for this channel. I want to do Camp NaNoWriMo this year because I'm also going to participate in NaNoWriMo this year too. And yes, I have been reading this book because this was going to be the next book in my review, and I already have words for this book. I'm still giving it a chance. I'm the kind of person that likes to give books chances, but I'm not too sure that I'm going to give this book much more chances because it has a few pet peeves in here that give me issues, but it's also a thriller. It's a mystery thriller, and I've already kind of annotated some spots with these really cute stickers, but I haven't really gotten that far. I am planning on spending a couple days just reading it and not doing anything else, but regardless, I really wanted to do today was because I felt, is a Would You Rather game, and it's by Epic Reads, I think it is. But yeah, it has like these little questions, and I figured why not do it? So let's just get into it. Let's just start it. Okay, so the first question is, camera. Okay, would you rather drop your favorite book in the toilet or watch it fall into a wood chipper? Ooh. This is supposed to be hard too. I don't know, because I love my books and I don't want them to ever get damaged, but I've also had water damaged books before, specifically old middle school books like that I would read. My dad got me and I would read. So I've had that happen before. I wouldn't want to fish it out of the toilet. I've had to do that before, but like with phones and stuff. You know what? I would pick a wood chipper, because it doesn't say that I can't pick a book. So I would pick a book that I wouldn't really like, and then I would watch it go down the wood chipper, because how cool would that be? That would be pretty cool. A little horrifying, but I would go down the wood chipper. All right, the next question is, would you rather read only one book a year but remember everything, or read 100 books a year but remember nothing? That's a hard one, because I love reading books and being able to just remember what happens. But the thing about reading the 100 books is after I finish reading them, I could reread them again, right? I could reread them and live them all over again. That'd be like a fresh new start for me. I like that idea a lot better. So I'm gonna pick 100 books but remember nothing. I feel like that's just a better way of doing that. I do like. So the next question is, would you rather read only the first page of a book or read only the last page of a book? I'd hate to spoil the book, especially if I first time reading it, but I would read the first page. Like, only read the first page, because that would tell me what kind of trip I'm going in for, you know what I mean? And I could be able to just imagine and speculate what's going to happen throughout the rest of the book if I can't read it. So we're going to pick read the first page. All right, would you rather get locked in a library or get locked in a bookstore? Ooh. See, I have this issue where I like to buy like a lot of things, so I think being locked in the bookstore is probably not a good idea. The library I might be able to be good in, because I can just sit at a table and read, until they come and get me again, and I won't have to worry about really wanting to take it home, because I'll be able to just finish it all in one night, hopefully. So I'm gonna pick a library. In a lake or accidentally set it on fire. So this goes back to, having water damaged books before, in a lake, because I could just fish it out and dry it off, hopefully. And it's less worse than the toilet. It's less worse than the toilet, trust me. Okay, so would you rather read a book with a cliffhanger ending or read a book with a heartbreaking ending? Now, I've had read books with heartbreaking endings. And in fact, there's this book that I really want to talk about, which is called Maybe One Day, I think it is. And that story crushed me. Like, it really did. I read it in high school. I think it was my senior year I read it, because I was like, I want to read more depressing, not like depressing, but I want to read more books that have more of an impact on my emotions, because usually in high school I would read books like fantasy all the time, you know what I mean, because that's mostly what they have in the library at school. But I was like, I want something that's gonna be emotional to me, you know what I mean, I want something like that. And I looked it up, and a lot of people were talking about Maybe One Day, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get that book. So I love cliffhangers, I really do, but if it's a cliffhanger on a book series that's like going to take a while to come out, I'm going to be kind of upset about that. So I think what I want to do is read a book with a heartbreaking ending, because that, if it's able to get me to have an emotional reaction, then that's a good book to me. Like, if I'm able to connect to the book really well enough to where I'm like, hey, wow, that ending really, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, that's good. That's amazing to me. Okay, moving on. All right. Would you rather have the book's ending spoiled or never know what happens? It depends. It really depends. Who's spoiling the book for me? That's the first thing. And if it's a book that I'm ever going to get around to reading, I have like a whole Goodreads list of books that I want to get around to reading, but I may never get around to reading. And then there's some books from problematic writers that I am interested in because the book's premise sounds amazing, but I support that author, so I'm like, maybe then it would be okay to get the book spoiled, because then I'm like, I didn't spend any dime or reason to read it, which is why, another reason why I watch a lot of Booktube things. I watch a lot of people talk about the book reviews. But yeah, you know what? I'll have the book's ending spoiled. If it's a situation where it's a writer that I don't particularly want to buy their book, I would do that. Okay, so would you rather read only one genre forever or never repeat the same genre after reading it once? That sucks, because I really do like reading a lot of genres. I adore genres. Like, just the whole concept of genres is amazing. The fact that you can like just pick more than one and put it into a story, that's great. Which is not going to be hard, because if I pick the never repeat the same genre after reading it once, does that mean if there's a genre that has horror and romance stuck together in one book, does that mean that I can't read a romance book? Like, is it like a singular genre, or is it multiple genres? Like, if a book has multiple genres, like I said, like, will I be able to, you know what I mean? I'm gonna read only one genre forever, and that genre will probably be, I want to say fantasy, mostly because fantasy, you have a lot of adventures, you know what I mean? Like, you could have a lot of adventures. You know what? I'm gonna pick that. I'm gonna read only one genre forever. So would you rather read a book where the main character is killed off, or read the book where the love interest is killed off? That's tough. I have read a few books where a character that I loved, that I thought was going to end up with the main character, that has died. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's kind of like, but I do like a good story where it turns the twist where the main character is the one that has to die. I like that. But I'm gonna have to go with read a book where the love interest is killed off, because one, the main character has a reason to go continue fighting, and two, hopefully I don't like that character. That sounds bad, but hopefully I won't like that character. 10 out of 10 times, usually the love interest is a character that I don't really necessarily care about. If it's a character that I'm like, oh, they're perfect for each other, then that would be a little bit more devastating. But if it's a character that's like just hash thrown in, like another book series that attempted, it's not necessarily a love triangle, I'll talk about it, but the fact that both the characters were just so quick to move on was insane, and they threw in a love interest that didn't need to be there, and honestly I wouldn't really care if it got killed off. I don't think serve the plot any, you know what I mean? But I'll have that. Read a book where the love interest is killed off. All right, so would you rather read a book that's missing the middle chapter or read a book that's missing the first and last chapter? Awful. I have this happen. I think I still have the book. It was the Raven Boys. Maggie, oh gosh, I don't want to mispronounce her name. Maggie Stirfire? I didn't want to mess up her last name, but it was the Raven Boys series. I think it was the third book or the second book. Halfway through, as I was reading it, a whole chunk of the next chapter, one of the chapters was gone, and it was just repeating the last chapter. And I didn't even notice until halfway when I saw another saying from a character that I really liked, and I was like, oh, hey. And I saw it again, and I was like, wait a minute. So I went back through and I checked it, and it was like a whole chunk of the book. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna end up having to buy another book of this because I missed a whole chapter. I don't know what's going on in the next chapter because I missed a whole chapter. So I think middle chapter. I'm gonna pick read a book that's missing a chapter. Okay, so would you rather love a book everyone hates or hate a book everyone loves? That's tough because I have been on both sides. I've been in love with a book that everyone hates, and then I've also been in love with hate a book that everyone loves. I think I'm gonna do love a book everyone hates, because if I am the only person that likes that book, I can convince others to like the book. I could try to convince others to like that book. I could be like, hey, this book's really nice, it's really good, you know what I mean? And hopefully I'll be able to sway them. All right. Would you rather loan a book to a friend who is known to ruin books, or drop a book in a pit of snakes? That's a little difficult, mostly because I have loaned books to people who have not taken good care of books. But I've also... Okay, so you don't have to retrieve the book, right, if you drop it. I'm the kind of person that likes to think these things through. So I'm going to drop a book in a pit of snakes, because I don't have to get that book back, right? I don't have to, dig in there and go through the snakes. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Would you rather be stuck on a desert island without a book, or be stuck in a library full of books in a language you can't read? You know what I would do? I would take a book. So I'm going to go with the library, and here's my theory about this. I'm going to take a book from different languages, and I'm going to skim through and kind of decipher words, see what each word might mean. If there's a word that has the same meaning in that language that's the same as English, I would take that English word, take that word and look to find it in other words and try to... I know a little bit of Spanish, but other than that, I can also, I have my app. I have Duolingo. I can take Duolingo with me. I have my phone with me, and I can just go through and mark off all the stuff. You know what I mean? So I would rather be stuck in a library full of books of a language I can't read, because I'd rather just be able to skim and look through everything and just see. Because being stuck on an island without a book would suck. It just would suck. Alright, would you rather bring only one book on a 12-hour flight, or bring an e-reader with only 10% left on a 4-hour flight? Obviously, I'm going to bring one book on a 12-hour flight, because I can make that book last. Because first off, I've never been on an airplane. I've never been flying before, and that's horrifying. So I'll probably be falling asleep halfway. I'll probably sleep for a little while, and then I'll wake up, read, fall back to sleep, wake up, read. I can make it last. So bring one book on a 12-hour flight. Okay, so would you rather find out your best friend hates your favorite book, or share a favorite book with your worst enemy? You know what? I'm gonna do find out your best friend hates your favorite book, mostly because she has her own opinions. You know what I mean? She's her own person, so she doesn't like my book. That's fine. I'm not gonna force her to like it. I might suggest, hey, if you actually give this a try, you might like it, but I'm not gonna force it on her. I'm not that kind of person. And if she just doesn't like it, then she just doesn't like it, you know? I do have more coming. I do have this book that I'm going to be doing a review on. I'm going to finish it hopefully soon. I'm also going to be participating in Camp NaNoWriMo, like I said. I might make a video on that, my process or something. I'm still, it's probably not a good thing, but I'm still very stuck on what I want to write, which isn't good, but I'm gonna figure it out. But anyway, I will see you guys next time.